the first time I see you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about, my name is Roberta, for those of you who don't know me yet. No, I'm not Roberta, by the way. I'm at Roberta, right? I'm not Roberta. Just Roberta here, the name my mom chose to give me. But that's it. Anyways, guys, I want to talk about a very serious and very interesting topic, at least for myself. And I'll tell you why. I've worked as an addiction counselor for so many years. I worked at various addiction centers. One of them was here in Fort Lauderdale. Then a couple here in Fort Lauderdale, actually. And then I worked at about 2 different ones in Delray Beach. And this topic is very significant in my life for so many reasons. And the first one is that I've learned so much working with addicts. So much. Like, I had no idea. I think for therapists and psychologists, getting like out of school and being thrown with addicts is the same thing as a doctor, you know, after their internship, or not after, but that's where I did my internship. So a doctor, after they're done, they do their internship at a hospital emergency room, is the same thing for therapists and counselors and psychologists to be thrown into an addiction center right while they are doing their internship. It was very intense. And the first day I worked there at an addiction center, my internship, I left that place crying. My head was like exploding. And I thought, and I was driving and I was crying, and I was crying so much because I thought, and then I was screaming, I was yelling, and I was really mad at God, right? Knowing little about, anyways, anything about God at that time. But I was like, I didn't go to school to work at this type of place. This is not what I want. I was so upset because it was so much work, you know. Unfortunately, when you work at addiction centers, you want to help people, right? That's why you're there, because you want to help them. But they don't let you help the people because there's so much paperwork. I had to write for each patient about 3 pages of diagnostic and how they feel. And that's what they want, not because they want that, actually. It's just because that's how they get paid. You know, that if you don't do that, the insurances won't pay the addiction centers the $1,500 they do per day for each client. It's a lot of money. And in order for them to see that money, we have to write. And they could care less about you treating the individual. Some of them do. But they do, but first is money, right? So first you gotta do the work, you know. And back then, it was, you gotta type everything, you know. It wasn't, there was no AI, there's nothing fancy, there was no recording, it was, we had to type, so it was a lot of work. But well, I just wanted to share this with you guys so you guys can understand a little bit of where I'm gonna get to. So when I say addiction, of course, what do we think about when I say addiction? What is addiction, in your opinion? Anybody? Huh? Alcohol, you think of alcohol. Okay. Drugs, you think of drugs. Tobacco, you think of tobacco. What else, guys? Help me here. Sex, very good. What else? Gambling. I've treated a lot of gamblers. Sugar. Chocolate. Yes. What else? Huh? Cosmetic surgery. Totally. Yes. What else? We call it, in psychology, we call it body dysmorphic disorder. When people are very hyper-focused and worry about their looks, right? What did you say? I heard shopping. Mm-hmm. Hoarding. That's a sad one, huh? Yeah. What else, guys? When we talk about addiction, what do you think about? Workaholic. I know that one well. Yeah. What else? Aggression, rage. Uh-huh. Well, I think that could be maybe fall into more of like trauma, you know? He's traumatized and he needs help, for sure. But yeah, yeah. But then, you know what? We're going to talk about that. That was a very interesting one that you brought. Anything else you guys can think about? Entities. Mm-hmm. What else? Yeah, because the title is, right, the connection between addiction and spirituality, right? So, very good. Thank you guys for sharing. All of this is part of, could be, because the person is addicted. But, well, finding out, working for so many years with addicts, and then experiencing, because you know what? You don't learn much in school. We all know that, right? We learn when we experience. You guys agree? I've learned so much more after I was done with school and I was thrown into, you're going to see a patient. I'm like, how? I've never seen a patient before, right? What are you going to do? And then you just sit there and you see the patient. And then you start applying, of course, everything you learned, but it's mainly the experience that builds, right, your professionalism and how professional you are or not. Anyways. Exactly. That's when we start learning, when we are thrown out there. So with everything that I've learned from addiction, I've learned one thing that nobody here mentioned. One thing. Addiction, they have proven it already. And it has been recent, right? That we are finding out that the problem with addiction is only one. The reason why people get addicted to anything is that they feel disconnected. The addiction, it's not like, let's not think about disconnection. Let's not think about physical disconnection, right? Let's think of emotional disconnection, because it is more of an emotion. Because I know a lot of addicts, I've met a lot of addicts that they have their whole family support. Their family love them so much. They have friends, they have people around them, but they feel lonely. They feel empty. They feel disconnected. No, that's not true. Did you guys all hear what she asked me? Does that mean that people that come here to the Broward Spiritist Society, they come here and therefore they are not addicts because they come here? Is that what you asked me? And I said, no, that's not true. If we all think about this, if we all think about this in a very deep level, very deep and honest opinions, and we go within and we analyze ourselves only, just with us, nobody else, just you and you over there. If you think about it, one day or the other, one time or the other, last year or 10 years ago, or maybe now, who eats sugar here? Who eats salt? But who eats too much sugar in here? too much, like more than you're supposed to. And who eats too much salt? I crave. I'm going to explain to you now. I crave salt. I love salt. You do too? I was eating soup over there earlier, and I grabbed salt, and I'm putting salt in the soup, and they're like, Roberta, you didn't even try. She saw, right? And I said, well, I know I'm going to need more salt, you know. So, crave. Anything we crave, anything. Think about something that you crave. If you are here tonight and you don't crave anything, please tell me, because I want to talk to you after. We all crave. We all craving. All of us. Why? Why do we crave? We are lonely? Are we? Yeah? Why? We are lonely. Very good. We are disconnected from ourselves. And that is the main reason we get addicted to things, right? And the big thing that I saw in addiction centers, it was that, if you guys could go one day and sit, I used to do groups, right? There were more people than are here now, sitting around a circle, and I used to do groups, right? And in these groups, it was incredible when you saw people. Let's say you are an alcoholic, let's say she's addicted to cocaine, and let's say you're addicted to crack, and let's say you're addicted to gambling. Now, because she's an alcoholic, she's judging whoever's addicted to cocaine because, hey, you know what? I just do alcohol. She's a cocaine addict, and she's a crack addict, you know, and then everybody would be like looking down at everybody just because your addiction is different than mine. It makes me less of a person than you. What do you think? No. No. Right? So then we found out that it's not even the lack of connection that pulls people into addiction. It is the lack of connection, of course, with yourself. And then when you don't feel connected to yourself, you don't feel connected to other people. Correct? It's not that. It's not just that, though. You know what else? It's when you are craving, if you pay attention, each one of you, when you crave whatever you crave, chocolate, sugar, salt, whatever you're craving, right? Pay attention when you are craving. I need to eat, I need to drink alcohol, I need to whatever, smoke, a cigarette, whatever. What is the emotion that you are craving to feel when you're going to use the drug of your choice? Because it's all connected. You don't want the drug. You don't want the alcohol. You want to feel what the alcohol makes you, how it makes you feel. That's why you prefer alcohol, that's why you prefer Coke, and that's why you prefer crack. Because every drug works in a different area in our brain. It makes you believe that you're feeling better, right? Because it's the emotion that you are lacking or that you want to feel that is bringing you the connection with that drug, right? When you, girls, ladies especially, right? When we are close to our periods, we want to eat chocolate. Because we learned that for some reason, somebody told us that chocolate feels really good when you're sad, right? Ice cream, right? So it's the connection with the emotion. It's not the food, it's not the drug, it's not the alcohol. It's the emotion to make you feel complete. or to make you feel numb, or to take the pain away, right? Or to make you feel happy. Because when I'm too happy, I eat. When I'm too sad, I eat. I'm anxious, I'm eating, right? It's the anxiety, right? And then it becomes a habit. And that habit is what doesn't allow us to leave whatever the addiction, the physical addiction is. That being going to the gym. I treated people that were addicted to going to the gym. They would go to the gym 3-4 times a day. Before they go to work, lunchtime, after work, and at night before they go to sleep. Yeah? So it's the emotion. We need to pay attention to what is it that we are feeling while we are in the habit, in the close to that physical, whatever it is that you're addicted to. So now I'm going to tell you something. Now that we know it's the feeling, the emotion that we're addicted to, right? How do we feel emotions? Does anybody know? Why and how? How do we feel the emotions that we feel? Any opinion? Depending on the emotion, right? There's good and bad emotions, right? Yeah. But how do we feel them? Okay. How else do we feel emotions? Adriana said emotions comes from our thoughts. That's what you said? No. Well, in the cognitive psychology, we learn, but what you're saying makes sense, Adriana, but I'll explain. There's cognitive triangle, right? We think, we feel, we act. We think, we feel, we act. The cognitive triangle. Think, feel, act. And we teach this to our patients, that if we become aware of our thoughts, we can change the thought, therefore change the feeling, and change the action. We teach this cognitive triangle. But then, right, the cognitive psychology teaches that we need to be aware, as if, and then it teaches us that we have the emotional brain and the analytical brain, and then the emotional mind and the factual mind, right? The logical mind. And then in between the emotional and the factual, there is wise brain, the wise mind. And the wise mind, psychology knows today that is our spirit, not connected to the ego. So when you go and you look at the emotional and the rational brain from the wise brain, and then you are aware, then you can change thought. I think, I feel, I act, right? You change your thoughts, you change how you feel, and you change how you act, right? But I'm here to tell you something, that works like that. It does, if you think of it that way. But we need to understand that we are pure energy. We are energy. If we didn't have a body and we couldn't see ourselves, we would see energy. The reason why we see spirits, some of us, is just because we are feeling their energy first. And after we feel the energy, then we can see the spiritual world and the spiritual being, or whatever is happening spiritually. We feel it. Then after we feel, we think we are thinking because we are feeling. And that our thought translates the feeling to describe, so we can verbalize and so we can understand whatever it is that we just felt. We feel everything first. Okay? You guys got to think about that. We feel, right? So the connection between in my opinion. I can be wrong. It's just what I, understand of everything that I've seen, that I've experienced, and that I think I know, and that I accessed or whatever, is that we feel things. We feel energy. Like, when you see a person that you never seen, you meet with somebody, and you love that person already. You feel like, oh my God, I know this person. What a great energy. This is wonderful. It's almost like you feel comfortable around this person. Or the opposite. You're like, oh my God, something is off here, right? You are feeling, and then you are thinking. You're not thinking and then feeling. You are feeling first. And then we translate what we feel through our thoughts, because we are thinking what we are feeling. And we are not even noticing that we are feeling first, but we are, right? We are. We just don't understand it like that. We feel first. So when we are feeling that energy, I'm feeling that energy, then I translate. So the connection with addiction is that, just like you both are friends and you are together, and I'm with him, and Adriana's my cousin, we are together because we have commonalities. We have things that we feel connected, right? We have same ideas, maybe the same values, and maybe, we get along because, we are agreeing with almost like so many things, I like to, let's say I like to smoke, and you smoke too, and then we are hanging out smoking. We share the same stuff like that we like, right? I like to eat desserts, and when I go out with my cousin, that's our favorite thing. We eat the dessert, right? We love that. And then we hang out and we talk in the same type of conversations. We get along. So spirits are the same. That's what they do. And then they feel us the same way we are feeling them. And then we are vibrating really low, and we are drinking. I'm drinking. And I invited Adriana to go out drink with me. And we have one drink, and that's okay, no problem. But then we have another drink. It's okay too. But then we have another one, and then the fourth one, and the fifth, and the sixth. And then the spirits that are there in that bar, they're like, oh, look at them. Let me join, because, I'm going to have fun. Right? The same thing as us. We are friends. We hang out. We like the same things. And the spiritual world is the same way. And then before you know it, you are craving. Don't blame the spirits. Don't blame them. I'm just saying. Right, Luigi? Don't blame them. I'm just saying that, you are craving, and you're out somewhere, and you're having too much fun. And, I'm dancing, and I dance really well. Adriana sees me dancing, and she likes dance. She's going to go, oh, my God, I'm going to join her. I'm going to go do the same steps that she's doing because, it seems like she's having fun. The spirits do the same thing. And then they come in to your energy field, and then they're like, oh, she is so much fun. I'm going to go home with her because, I'm going to have more fun there. And of course, they give us suggestions, right? And they start suggesting, and they start saying, hey, I want to drink some more. I want to dance again. I want to eat more sweets. I'm hungry. Go, go. And then you're not even realizing that wait a minute, these are not my thoughts. I shouldn't go out drinking. No, I'm not. But then, again, go, Roberta. Go, you're going to have fun. Go have some drinks. Go dance. Go get drunk. Go use the drug that you like, right? I'm like, maybe I should. And I'm not even realizing that these thoughts are coming from suggestions. Just like when we were young and we have bad influence friends, and they were like, hey, let's, and my friends are doing it, I'm going to do it too. Why not? And I remember when my mother used to say, oh, they're going to jump in the hole, and then you're going to follow them. You're going to jump with them, right? And I used to say, yeah. No, I didn't. I wasn't that bad. Was I again? Okay. So that's what we do, right? Yeah? So I'm sharing this so we can understand that awareness, you know. Think about, Luigi said earlier in the class, don't think about what you're thinking, right? And that works too. But if you can really do that, and in order for you to not think about what you're thinking, it does work, because some people struggle with a lot of thoughts, and they're thinking about the past or the future. Thinking too much about the past is depression. Too much the future, it creates anxiety, right? And if we are in the present moment, we are experiencing instead of thinking, right? We are experiencing the present moment. So if we stop and we become aware, right, of what is this, where is this thought coming from? Is this really my thought? Do I really want to go out and drink? Or I'm being influenced by my friend, I'm being influenced by Adriana calling me, no, let's go out, let's go out. The same thing. The spirit picks up the phone and go, hey, Roberta, let's go out drinking, right? You guys understand how serious this is? So go ahead. Good, she's doing a good job throwing him out.
And
no.
Then, and then I said, for a while, so don't talk to me.
Okay, okay.
And we have a role, like, between
Oh.
But she said we are always with that.
Oh, wow.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, let's pray, because I felt there was such a
Bad vibes,
yeah,
the energy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I said, this is not a good thing. Let's
Mm-hmm.
pray. Let's pray. And then I said, let me touch you. She said, no, I want to pray with you. No. And even though she didn't know it, I said,
Mm-hmm.
and then I said, oh, she said, it's so boring. That's what I felt.
Okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
we went back home and said, always not.
Okay, wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, thank you for sharing that, because sometimes it goes deeper than that, right? When I used to go to church, you know, I was Protestant, and they taught us that, yeah, I rebuke in the name of Jesus thing worked. And we come to find out that doesn't work, because the spirit is like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go out there. When she comes out, I'll follow her again, right? Because it's not about who is praying. It's about the person, their own decision to change. It's a decision you got to make. And I've always told my patients, it's a decision. You can be here for 3 months, because they used to have to live there for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. You can live here for a long time, and I cannot make the decision for you, because they would be clean for 3, 4 months, but then as soon as they got out of the door, they would fall into their drug addiction again, right? So it's a decision we got to make to be aware, to stay aware all day, vigilant. The Bible says that we got to, how do you say it? Be vigilant, yeah? Yes, yes. Be vigilant. Why? Because we need to be vigilant. Because with 1 second, one little action can ruin our whole life in seconds, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? I had this patient. Vigilant? It means you gotta always be watching yourself, always be aware of yourself. Yes. And a way not to think about what you're thinking, there's one way that I've learned, and I'm gonna tell you, it's just one word, meditation. If you struggle with your thoughts, and if you really want to stop thinking too much about the past, too much about the future, and teach yourself on how to stay in the present moment with no thoughts, you have to meditate. There's no other way. I swear, I promise you guys. If you meditate every day, 5, 10 minutes, it'll change your life completely. Completely. You don't need anybody. You are your own creator. You are your own God. You don't need anybody to pray for you. All you need to do is pray for yourself. And there's two types. There's two things that there's a huge difference between prayer and meditation. When you meditate, you're connecting within. Through your pineal gland, you're connecting within. When you're meditating, connecting within. When you're praying, you're connecting without. See? You pray, we connect with the spirituality without. And of course, we can meditate and connect without as well. But I'm just telling you a little bit of how it works so you can understand, right? But meditation is so important. There's nothing more important. And I don't know why we didn't learn this when we were little. Nothing more important than meditation. I promise. Nothing. We are here every Tuesday, and we do meditations here every Tuesday. Every Tuesday there's somebody else that does meditation. It's not always me. Don't worry if you didn't like it yesterday. I'm not always here. Every Tuesday there's somebody new. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. I think we are past time, right? Time? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. You have a great night.